Okay, so as you can see, I'm doing quite a few. I haven't had as many opportunities to make videos, so I'm just gonna like rattle off as many as I can. And I wanted to showcase this product, and I thought I could include it in my bronzers video that I just finished, but of course, you know, I just blabbed way too much and ramble, so I couldn't fit it in. So now I've got to give it its own little video, which, you know what, now to come to think of it, I think it deserves it. It certainly does. Oh my god, what is wrong with me? I'm like constantly moving, fidgeting, yada yada yada. Okay, so SPF, super important, obviously all year round. Like I've always said, I always use it as part of my skincare regimen in the day. Whatever the weather is, it's on my face. But now that it's really quite warm and hot, I'm noticing my hyperpigmentation creeping back again. I had it faded to a pretty good, you know, I mean, it's not the best, but I fade it quite a bit. And then now I've spent a couple of days out in the sun, and I can see it's rearing its ugly brown head. Okay, so this has always been my problem with SPF, which is most women wear makeup. And when you are reapplying, what are you supposed to do with the makeup that you have on your face? I mean, it's just ridiculous. You want to start moving around all your blush and highlighter and everything. So that's always been a bone of contention with me, because everything is about reapplying. Now, I don't know if everyone knows this, and maybe I'll just do a little brief, well, brief for me, rundown on SPF, because I have had people ask certain questions about it in terms of the percentage and the number of it. And I will say this, most of the times the SPF 15, 30, 60, whatever number is after the SPF isn't about the strength of the SPF. It's more so an indication of how long you can be in the sun and be protected. So if you're starting at the base, which is SPF 50, you're probably protected 70, somewhere in there, the high 70s, maybe low 80s. In terms of protection, and you can probably stay out in the sun for about 2 hours or so. So it's not in the height of summer do you want to use something like that when the sun is like, woo, blaring down at you. Maybe on a certain overcast day. Although I just say, you know what, screw the 15 altogether. Why even use it? Go into 30. That's what I use all the time, because the misconception is that if you do SPF 30 and then you go into SPF 60, because it's 60, it's double that, you're getting double the protection, and that's a fallacy. The SPF 30 is a protection of about 96%, and the, or 94, somewhere in there. The SPF 60 is only about 4% more. And the higher up you get, there really isn't a difference, because you're sort of you're capped at the max there. So it's not double the protection. What it will give you is a little bit more time. So say from 4 hours, perhaps you can do 5 hours with the higher SPF. But once you go into the higher SPFs, they put a lot more, I don't know if it's zinc or titanium oxide, basically the white cast. So you have a really white cast. It's almost like the zinc that, you know, the swimmers put on, and it's just white. So it may prevent you from using it. So I've always used SPF 30, my SkinCeuticals, and it's gorgeous. I just love the sheen of it. It is quite white, but once you blend it in, you don't get any of that white cast anymore. So there's that. So I think everyone should just stick with the 30s or maybe the 45s. The higher up you get, you're not really getting any more protection. But like I said, every 4 hours or so, you really do need to reapply, because you're sweating, there's things, and it's just not as potent as it was. Oh, and mind you, it should be on your skin for at least 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes before you are in sunlight. So make sure you don't want to just put it out there while you're out in the day, because it needs that little bit of time to sort of absorb into the skin and have that barrier. So anyways, I was watching Lisa Eldridge, who I love. I'm so inspired by her. She is just brilliant. What can I say? So she had her favorite sunscreens, and she had this one particular product, which I had heard about, hadn't seen in person. Unfortunately, there's something with ingredients that we can't actually get it in Canada, so I had to get it shipped from the States, and it's this. It's the Peter Thomas Roth Mineral SPF 45. And the thing that I love about this is because obviously, ooh, I don't know if you saw that, it's a powder. So that you can just do that. Wow. And you're protected. So that if I'm spending more than 4 hours out in the sun, or it's especially hot, and you know, you can really feel it. I can feel when it starts to really scorch my face. It's not just, oh, it's pleasant and it's so sunny. It's like I'm having to do this and that when I'm walking, because I can really actually feel it burning. I know that my SPF is probably worn off. And of course, when you're out throughout the day and you've got makeup on, I mean, to have to try and put it on, it doesn't make any sense. So I'm so glad that this is available now. The way that it works is it's mineral powder. It's obviously in here. You can either shake it to let it out, and it comes off, and you can see there's a little bit there, and you just, like I showed you, just dust it on, and now you've got another layer of protection. And hopefully it's just a compound effect of what you've already got on underneath. So I wouldn't necessarily wait for the 4 hours to be over. I would wait, you know, a couple of hours, because even though it does have a color, it's translucent. It does say translucent on it, but when you do get it, I did notice it actually had a color to it, a tint to it, like any other mineral foundation. But when I did put it on, it didn't change my skin tone at all. So even though it looks like that, it does go on translucent. And then you just pull that down so that you can put the cap on. And then if you want to release it, I just kind of keep it to there, so it's not releasing it as it's in my bag, and then it'll get messy and you'll waste a lot of the product. So if you keep it about to here, it shouldn't release anymore, but once you pop it right back up, that's when it's releasing the SPF. So I just encourage everyone this summer to really get on the SPF bandwagon. Again, I've always said that I poo-pooed it, and I really, really regret it. So please learn from my mistake. I wish I had been as diligent as I am now in my early 20s, because I think my skin would be really, really extraordinary. So this for sure is, I think it's probably in the 20s. Maybe, perhaps you can get it for less. I did, again, have to order it from the States because we cannot get this in Canada. Just FYI for all of us Canadian gals out there, yet another thing to add on the list. But I think it's so, so worth it. I would actually have spent double to get this, because it's always been a bone of contention with me. I always feel like, oh my God, you know, Nosferatu. As soon as, you know, my 4 hours are up, I'm like hovering and running, and it's just ridiculous. So now that I have that, I feel really, really confident that I can spend the entire day out and my skin is protected, and you know, I can keep the hyperpigmentation at bay as much as I can in direct sunlight. So, woo! I can't believe I thought I could fit that sucker in at the end of that other video. Lord. Hopefully this has helped somebody, and I'm really, really hoping that you run out and get this, if not this, some form of SPF. This obviously because of the ease of use, and you may start to get into SPF if you haven't already. And please, please let me know if and when you do. Thanks so much.